See, Here's the Thing is brought to you by Grisey Audiovisual and our wonderful Patreon sponsors, All in Act Theater and Megan. It's time to kick off the gigantic summer movie season with an oversized episode featuring the Jock and Nerd podcast team. Imran and Anthony join me and Patrick to discuss the most anticipated summer films of 2017. We begin with a look at the Murder on the Orient Express cast, new trailers for Defenders and Inhumans, and pay reverential homage to the 2017 inductees into the Video Game Hall of Fame. We'll match wits over athletic terms before taking an in-depth look into Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Alien Covenant, Pirates 5, Wonder Woman, and many, many more summer films. Buckle your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride because episode 52 starts right about now. To episode 52 of See Here's the Thing. I am your host, Kate, and I'm once again joined by my lovely co-host, Patrick.
The last 2 weeks have been so nice.
Muscular was last week.
Yeah, and lovely.
I feel great.
I like when you drink before we go on.
I've had 2 drinks of unspecified amounts. My drinks are big, but
yeah.
I'm feeling the love tonight for you.
Oh, well. And that ends another episode of See Here's the Thing.
I'm Elton Johnning this one. I can feel the love tonight.
How about that? Can I tell you how excited I am for today?
Is it because I just told you I think you're lovely?
Yes.
And
that's it?
That's it.
That's it. I'm so excited for that. Oh, and we have 2 awesome guests.
We do. This has been a long time in the making. We have 2 extraordinary podcasters who are, if this is possible, geekier than us. And I mean that in the best sense of the word, really. They are the Jock and Nerd team. We have Imran and Anthony. Please welcome them to the show. Yay!
Extraordinary. You guys remember who is on the show, right? Though you have the correct show notes. I don't know if
you know what? Hang on one second.
But thank you.
Turn the page over.
Shit, we have the wrong shit.
But thank you so much for having us on your show.
It's supposed to be Opie and
That guy's
Anthony.
the Jock, by the way.
I am not the Jock. People get that wrong all the time.
So just to clarify, listeners, Imran is not the Jock. He is the nerd.
Correct. Why don't you let them say it?
Oh, well, fine.
The way that they do it on theirs.
Listen, our audience doesn't quite know them yet.
I know.
It's. I don't want to force them.
Anthony, let's do this. Like you said, this is. You warned me before, Anthony. Of course, this is not my show. Don't host, but I'm going to do our opening just to clarify the air. This is how we start every show. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
There you go. See,
Patrick, what would we be?
Beauty and the Beast, clearly. But if anybody else calls you Beast, I'll kill them.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, great quote.
What was the quote from?
Batman 1989, Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Beauty and the Beast. Of course, if anyone else calls you Beast, I'll rip their lungs out.
Thank you very much.
At the end.
Oh, it's been so long. We revisited. Now, here's a good question, because we did talk about this last week. Who is your guys' favorite Batman?
Good question.
Anthony, I'll let you start.
Jeez. Fucking A. Sorry, I'm swearing.
And there's the explicit tag.
Yeah, put that explicit
Son
tag
of a
in.
bitch.
Okay. See, I don't connect with Michael Keaton as much, so out of just default, I'm going to go Christian Bale, but I don't have a favorite Batman.
I think I would probably agree with you, because I feel like I know that I saw the original Batmans, but I feel like Christian Bale made more of an impact on me.
I grew up with those.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about me. Mom and Dad are fighting.
It's definitely a generational thing. Like Anthony and I, there's a few years of difference, let's just say. I'm the grizzly old 40-something guy. And I agreed with Patrick. Michael Keaton I was 13. I was so excited when that summer that movie was coming out. It meant everything to me. Like
Imran was squeezing high C into his mouth in his underwear.
Oh my God, I was
so wait 1 minute. So Imran and Patrick are in their 40s.
Yes.
Correct.
And I think Anthony, you're in your 30s, right?
Oh jeez.
Oh,
boy. Don't. Nope, not in the 30s yet. Still 20.
Not yet.
I am not the baby.
How about that?
Gotta love me.
Gotta love me.
I'm a child.
This is nice.
I am a dumb millennial.
He really is, and he gets all the millennial jokes I could throw at him. It's great.
Well, this will be nice. If we play any games later, it should be you and Imran versus me
Oh,
and
no,
Anthony.
there's no teams in my game.
Oh, you have a game.
Oh, I have a game.
Well, speaking of games, tell our friends what your normal weekly game is.
Oh, yeah. So we do what's called the word of the podcast. And basically, I go on some random verb generator, and I look through words until I find one that I think is challenging or easy or fun. This week, the goal is to try to sneak in the word of the day without anybody else noticing. And last week, I was successful in even fooling the editor. I didn't even get a special ding.
Listen, the word was difficult. You were like, it's terror, but then you're like, you can use whatever variation of the word you want.
My rules.
Terrible, terrifying.
My rules, bitch. See there.
Wow, that's sneaky. That's sneaky.
My rules, bitch.
This entire episode is now just going to be me and them, and your voice is going to be edited out completely.
So, the word of the podcast, if you so wish to try to sneak it in, is the word punch.
Punch.
Punch. Punchy. Punch.
Sucker punch.
Sucker punched.
Any version of it. I'm
Any
writing this down on a piece of
version.
paper in front of me because
Try to sneak it in.
Smoked way too many trees to remember things past 10 minutes.
I always write it down. I
so-
never remember.
Yeah. So there we are. There's
Punched.
the word. The word of the podcast is punch.
Okay. I think I can do this. I
Okay.
say that every week, but I think this is the different week. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of our listeners this week, some of the things we listened to this week. First off, we are now taking a part of a special campaign called 2 Pods a Day. And that sounds like you're smoking something twice a day, but you're not. You're actually, we're this great campaign started by the Our Americana podcast. It's going to feature 2 indie pods per day, and we are in that campaign, and we're also reviewing some podcasts. So this week I got a chance to listen to the Know Nothing podcast, The Trail Went Cold, and Boob Tube Buddies. Boob
cool.
Tube. And so we're going to be able to be featured on that as well. So when you're searching for pods, use the hashtag 2 Pods a Day.
What constitutes an indie podcast?
Somebody that is not sponsored by a big company.
Anything that's not NPR.
Which we
they
are
have
not.
so many people working on their shows, it's not fair.
Yeah.
I know, listeners, you might think because of the audio quality that ours is NPR.
Listen to NPR.
I'm using a lot of sarcasm right now, but it is not. So, yeah, we got a chance to listen to a few of those. And let's see what else. Oh, I'm going to save this one. There's one from Facebook for you, Patrick.
For me, do I know
Yeah.
about this?
You don't. I have to save a little bit for myself.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Coming soon on the podcast, we're getting the team from Varmints. They're coming on, I believe it's the week of May 24th. And last but not, well, no, actually, that's not true. I have 2 things, but I'm going to end with the request from the internet.
Okay.
We got an awesome review on iTunes. I just want to feature this listener. His screen name is Nixass.
Spell that for me.
NYXASS.
Oh, all right.
From iTunes, and it says about our show. Fantastic.
Let me just ask something real quick. Do you
Sure.
think this is like cool version of spelling Nick?
That's what I thought.
Or is he going with like Nix as in like let's get rid of this ass?
Nix my ass.
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's like Nick's ass, but it still sounds like ass.
Oh, yeah.
Could be a basketball fan.
Maybe the
Knicks.
ass is silent.
It sounds like an operating system or some kind of computer virus.
You're right. It does.
Maybe the A is long, so it's like Nick's ass.
But do it like Jamestown.
Nick's ass.
There you go.
Anyway, this lovely
Continue.
listener who we're berating now on our show, who no longer will
He's going
watch.
to delete this review.
Jesus.
Me and Imran tend to berate our listeners all the time.
It's all
Sorry,
right.
guys.
Well, anyway, at this point when they wrote it, they were hooked. They said, I listened to the show all day. It was that entertaining. The upbeat movie banter, different segments and topics are very funny and interesting. The hosts have an amazing chemistry and are extremely high-spirited. I love the word of the day segments and the sound bites throughout. The shows are spot on and make it sound very professional. The celebrity impressions and what Dumbledore tells Harry at Hogwarts had me laughing. It really is a fantastic show. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. You will
Imran-
not be disappointed.
Imran and Anthony, you have to know that the internet thinks I am a wonderful impressionist.
When we say the internet.
I would say that 99.9% of the people that listen think I am phenomenal at my impressions.
All right, well, let's load one up. And,
Speaking of that, thank you so much for bringing that up.
Gentlemen, I'm lying.
I feel like that the Jock and Nerd might be able to put some 2 cents in. This is a little bit of a nerdy request.
Okay.
From David.
Oh, boy. Oh, David.
He would like you to do an impression of Mr. Spacely and Rosie from the Jetsons. I don't think at the same time.
That's not fair. It's been like 20 years since I've seen that.
This is why it's a good request. It'll
I
be
don't-
awful.
challenging.
I have to. Can I watch a video first?
I'm going to offer my guests a chance in case perhaps they do an impression of either.
Imran?
I'm going to leave this to Imran. The
I
Jetsons?
watched that. It's been a long time since I
Yeah.
watched the Jetsons. First of all, this is challenging because you're being asked to do like a male and then like a female robot.
Yeah, but see,
Like,
that's
just that switch.
That shouldn't be
is-
hard for you. You carry both sets of genitalia. Anyway.
That's
right.
true. I
We
have
are
known
conjoined.
it.
That's right.
I think she had like an East Coast Bronx accent. I can't remember. It really has been a long time since I've watched an episode of the Jetsons.
So, Patrick, are you looking up some impressions? What do you do? Are you cheating?
I want to hear it once.
It's not going to help you at all.
Patrick, all you got to do is Jetson. I think he said. Did he say that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Jetson.
That was Mr. Spacely?
No, that was Rosie. I don't remember what he said. After the break, I will do an impersonation.
Fine. You need another drink?
Yes.
I
We'll
feel
give
like
him we'll give him some time.
give him some leeway.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, let's talk about some news clips.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Are you set? Let's go. All right. So our big topic of the day is going to be the summer movie preview. We're going to get to that. There's just so much to talk about. But there were a few news clips this week that are of note. So first of all, we got a first look at the Murder on the Orient Express cast. This cast is jacked. Let me just say that.
Go
There
on.
are so many high-profile names. The 2 photos that we saw, though, were of Leslie Odom Jr. and of Josh Gad, looking very much in the style of the period.
So is he playing a gay character in this movie too?
Josh Gad?
Yes.
What do you... Oh, you're referring to LeFou. Yes, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Guys, do you know anything about the Murder on the Orient Express?
I've read it. I love Agatha Christie. The Hercule Poirot novels. I really got into that, and I think I've watched like the PBS version of it. It's a great murder mystery with an unexpected ending. I didn't know Kenneth Branagh is doing this, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were making a movie.
It took my fucking line that I was going to say.
Sorry, I take it back.
Kenneth Branagh is going to be Branagh this.
Oh, Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, wow.
And then Daisy Ridley is also in it.
Love her.
Along with
Daisy Ridley's in it.
Judi Dench,
Dame Judi Dench.
Johnny Depp,
What?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Wow.
You think I'm making this up. I'm really not. We've got William Dafoe
Wow.
and Derek Jacobi, who that name to me is familiar. I can't tell you right now what he's in. It's a secret.
He's a sir, though. He's been knighted. We know that much.
That is true. And also Penelope Cruz.
Wow.
So when I say jacked, it's jacked. Yeah. So I'm super excited to see this. I don't know anything about the original movie. I never saw it, but you've read the book, so what can we expect?
You're going to meet, there's a murder on a train. They're all stuck. They're 13.
Spoiler.
The Orient?
Spoiler.
It's something with the Orient, and it's an express, meaning they don't take stops. It's like straight through.
It's a quick ride.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
the thing is, there's a murder, and everybody is suspect. So the majority of it is Hercule Poirot kind of talking to people and figuring out who did it and putting the case together.
And on top of all of that, Kenneth Branagh is playing Hercule Poirot.
Oh, he's
He is
cool.
playing
So
it,
he's
yeah.
the detective. Nice.
So this is going to be an amazing movie. I can't wait to see it. Now, this is something that I know Imran and Anthony are going to chime right in on. We got a look at Marvel's Defenders, a trailer debuted for the new Netflix series. Now, honestly, I know nothing about the Defenders, but I know it involves Daredevil, so I'm already a fan.
How much of the Marvel Netflix shows have you watched?
We have watched, I think, just Daredevil.
Yeah.
Which we
Oh, man.
thoroughly enjoyed.
So this one might be, you might have a little trouble following along. You know, as Marvel does, they reward you when you watch all of their things in successive order because there's threads they leave and everything, hashtag it's all connected, barely, whatever. But the Defenders, especially, they just put out Iron Fist, and it was not the strongest one of the
Here,
four.
let me give the quick review.
Okay, that's what I heard. It wasn't good.
Have you seen Daredevil 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay, so you've seen those. All right, cool. Jessica Jones, totally worth watching. A lot of allegories to like trauma and rape and PTSD. Very good show.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for women. Luke Cage, like halfway through, it's like it starts off really hot. Halfway through, takes a weird turn and kind of goes to a little bit of the gutter.
With a great hip hop soundtrack, though.
Yeah, Imran just loves it.
That's how I would describe our relationship.
Yeah.
With a great hip hop soundtrack.
Iron Fist is the worst thing Marvel Studios or TV has ever done.
And explain this to me. I listening today to your podcast, you were talking about this, and I don't know this character at all. Tell me about this character.
Iron Fist?
Yes.
So he's this guy that basically is this white privileged kid that shipwrecked or crashed in another country, goes to this mystical third dimension called Kun Lao, learns how to, basically is like white appropriation, learns how to do the Asian thing better than Asians, goes back to America and basically fights crime as the protector of this mystical city. But the show kind of takes all the interesting versions of that, which aren't many, and decides to make it about this white privileged dude coming back and wanting to get back everything that he should have inherited in his goddamn company.
And so he just
the problem with this last one is it's clearly it was rushed. Like, this one should have had the best martial arts out of all of them, and it did not. It was, the guy is so skinny. When he's fighting, it's just not believable. The production's rushed. The writing is muddy. It doesn't know what it wants to be about. But you just have to get through it. So now that we could get the Defenders, which is all four of them, investigating.
So wait a minute. This guy is just going around throwing punches, trying to get his money back.
Oh, she got one.
No, you don't know this, but while you guys were talking, we were fighting over who was going to say it.
It was leading up to it. I stuck my finger in the air like, don't you fucking talk. This is fucking
it's
mine.
Iron Fist. How are you not going to try to squeeze the word?
So in this game, if we recognize it, though, does it count?
Nope.
Actually, you get double points.
This is my game, not yours.
You know what? I won. I get all the points. Now I can sit back and enjoy myself.
One more quick thing about Iron Fist.
Go on.
The most interesting part is that he is selected as the best in his art or whatever, but he's an outsider in the place that he calls home, which is both Kun Lao and New York. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the show delves into really none of that.
Okay, so here's my question for you. Again, I apologize. Your podcast, as I was listening to it, I was in and out of it today. But I thought that was the character you were talking about. If he speaks, everyone dies.
That's Black Bolt from the Inhumans.
Shoot, I'm sorry.
We're going to get there.
I'm sorry.
Don't jump ahead.
Sorry.
It's confusing, though.
Boy, she's punchy.
Oh, no. It was a minute period after I said it. Doesn't count.
Go on.
That was a reach. Anyway, looks like we have some work to do this summer to catch up.
You might have to catch up. The best thing about this is the one thing all of these Netflix series deal with is that they're too long. They're all 13 episodes, and there's always a point in the season where it peaks and then it slows down, and you're like, why is this being stretched out? The Defenders, even though there's more characters in it, it'll be 8 episodes. So we're expecting some tight writing, get right into the action, put the team together. And no fluff, hopefully. But it's going to be huge. Highly recommend it. And unfortunately, Anthony, do you think they got to power through Iron Fist to enjoy the Defenders?
I don't think they need to, but I think it will be helpful if they really want to enjoy the show.
I really want to enjoy it.
Iron Fist is weird because it sucks. It sucks dick. But it's like the last show that's like they're like full on trying to like point you in the Defenders direction by the end of it. So.
The thing is, there's a lot of story points that they put down in this that are going to get picked up right in the Defender.
So Inhumans released the first trailer, and by trailer we kind of mean the logo with some talking. But
it's not really a trailer.
What grabbed me right away is when you hear the first voice on this trailer. At least for me, you know right away that's Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Are we supposed to follow our king and remain as silent as he is?
And so, guys, be our experts here. Tell us, what is Inhumans going to be about? What can we expect?
Do you want me to go get this, Imran?
Go ahead. By all means.
All right. So Inhumans is, man, this is super nerdy. But
This is really hard to explain, too.
They're really hard to explain. They're basically the X-Men, but not the X-Men.
Okay.
In the most simplest terms, they're
The Y-Men?
What's that?
The Y-Men?
Or just Inhuman.
Or how about ABC's Heroes?
Yes. More heroes per level.
Exactly. So they're this group of, like, basically mutated peoples that have been living on the dark side of the moon forever, in a city called Adelan.
Pink Floyd.
And they basically have this king named Black Bolt, who is a leader that doesn't speak because his main power is if he utters even a whisper, he can destroy like an entire city block.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
Hope he doesn't
So
sneeze.
he is kind of cool. And there's a very like Game of Thrones-esque vibe. He has this brother named Maximus, who is this kind of Loki-esque kind of character who's very deceitful and wants to like be his best friend, but then sometimes wants to take all the power away from him.
And I think that's the voiceover. That's the Game of Thrones guy is playing Maximus.
From what I've read, I hear that this show basically takes these Inhumans and they get kind of like shipwrecked in Hawaii or somewhere in the States. And it's them dealing with being in the real world for the first time in a while. And all their structure is kind of gone.
Like their floating city crashes in Hawaii. The unique thing about this that's never been done is they're using IMAX cameras to shoot this show, and the first two episodes are going to have a theatrical release in IMAX.
Wow.
In September, and then it's going to continue on television, and also a short run. I think there's only 10 episodes. So now that being said, that's a lot of money. You look at this photo they put out, they clearly didn't spend any money on the costumes.
Right.
Let me tell you what, because Medusa has the worst looking wig in this photo. It's going to need a lot of animation because Medusa's powers is her hair is alive. She has this full body hair and she can use it as a weapon and grab people and throw people. But what they showed us in this photo, oh boy.
Do you think that
for your listeners that aren't super into Marvel, originally, this was supposed to be made into a movie. In fact, Kevin Feige announced this as a movie in a big event, like a big press event. And Marvel Comics was really pushing the Inhumans. Like, we want the Inhumans to be this next thing because X-Men are owned by Fox, so we're really not making that much money off these guys. So these will be the new X-Men. Mm-hmm. And basically, the comic sales, the people have been like, we don't really like the Inhumans all that much. So it's kind of gone down as a priority and got bumped from being this movie thing to now being a little bit of a TV thing.
And to bridge that, if you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have introduced the concept of Inhumans in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how they become Inhumans by the process of teragenesis. You got to go through a transformation, kind of to get people used to the word. But in the MCU, Inhumans are their mutants because they can't use mutants. They can't say the M word. They'll be sued.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you that my only other reference is, and I'm hoping that this movie does a little better job with the graphics than the Clash of the Titans. Because Medusa, that's my only reference of Medusa in Clash of the Titans. So she, the claymation
Wait, the original
hair.
stop motion one? Did they remake that one?
They
recently?
did remake it, but it pales in comparison to the original.
The original was awesome. I remember watching that as a kid, and it scared me.
Yeah, it sure did.
It creeped me out because there was like a giant scorpion.
Now, Anthony and Kate, have you seen the original Clash of the Titans?
I don't think I have.
We got
a date.
Anthony?
A ton of stop motion animation.
Yeah.
I think I've seen clips.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. All right. Well, we're
going to play it on television like all the time.
All the time. Yeah, we'll watch that. Do you remember
I
Imran?
remember this.
Imran, do you remember the
There was a
nudity?
big
Because as a teenage boy, I remember the nudity.
Yeah. I think that's where everybody learned about Medusa too,
Yeah.
and like how the trick was you got to find something to see her reflection in, and then chop her head off.
Yep.
Patrick, you know what it's time for? I think it's time for you to finally do your Rosie impression.
No, I think
I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet.
I thought maybe you stole away and prepared. No, you're not ready?
No, I'm not ready. No.
Fine. You always seem to have this kind of thing where you're like, I need some time. And then you come back and you need more time.
Yeah, I need more time.
Would you like to take a break so that you can prepare?
Are we at a good point to take a break?
Well, unless you want to just hear one more clip before we go to break, which I think we can.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So I didn't even know this existed, but this is pretty cool. There's a Video Game Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
Oh.
Yeah, Video Game Hall of Fame. Are you guys gamers?
Not really.
Okay,
The only
then never
sport I
mind.
play are sports games.
Screw this. We're going to break. No.
Although I do think esports will take over regular sports in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Too late.
Well, for the gaming fans out there. For the gaming fans out there, the recent inductees to the Video Game Hall of Fame were announced in March, and I just read about this, and I had to bring it up because I had no idea that they even had a Video Game Hall of Fame. And this makes me feel old, guys, because here's what got inducted: Donkey Kong,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Halo,
Oh wow.
Pokemon, and Street Fighter 2.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
That's all my youth.
In
Yeah.
2016, Oregon Trail was added, Space
Nice.
Invaders, The Sims. And then this year, one of Patrick's favorite video games was inducted, and that is Myst.
Please, gentlemen, tell me you know the game Myst.
Oh, I love the game where you walk around and click things and
Yes.
nothing happens and
Yes.
there's nobody there. And you're like,
Yes.
what? Am I supposed to read this book now? I thought this was a video game.
That game was so confusing and frustrating.
God, I love that game. And that
It
was
looked beautiful. It looked beautiful and it was exciting. You could walk around, but man, like nothing happened.
well, and it was all before the internet where you could look up how to
Yeah.
do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would waste a lot of
Oh,
time. That's really my
hours.
problem with. I played like a little bit of Grand Theft Auto and some of these, but I don't have 90 hours to complete a game 100%. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Give me a good Super Mario level. I could just casually play and then walk away.
Yeah.
I've never played Myst, but I kept thinking about is Oregon Trail, and that like every time I played, I would die from like dysentery.
Everybody dies.
Stupid-
Everybody dies from dysentery.
Or I just decide to shoot a bear, and it just attacks me.
Or you get the message: you've shot a bear and you've recovered 200 pounds of meat, but you can only
Yeah.
carry 2.
Oh no!
All right. Well, since the two gentlemen are not gaming fans,
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you with this question.
Okay, hit me with it.
Of the list that are Hall of Fame inductees,
Yes.
what's missing?
What should be in it at this
Yeah.
point? My brain immediately goes to GoldenEye on the
Okay.
64.
All right.
Many hours spent screaming at the screen.
Yeah. I've got 2 games. I've got Tron, the original Tron
Okay.
game.
Oh.
That has to be in there. And then there was a game my brother and I would take $10 of quarters and spend hours playing, and it was Heavy Barrel.
Heavy Barrel.
I've never heard of that one.
That was your nickname in college.
Heavy Barrel.
Patrick
That
Heavy
line
Barrel.
works for everything. I love it.
Oh, that's our entire relationship. Is Patrick saying these things to me whenever I say something innuendo.
Innuendo.
Oh, by the way, to answer your question, Pac-Man was inducted in 2015.
Okay.
So was Super Mario Brothers. Now I'm really old.
Wow.
Anyway.
But I'm so old that I remember going to the liquor store down the street from my house to play Super Mario Brothers, and it was totally normal. Nobody
Imran-
said a 7-year-old go to a liquor store, play video games. Nobody questioned it.
I was going to say that was last week for you, Imran.
Yeah, don't fool anybody. Imran.
I still may do that.
Well, tell you what, I'm going to give you a chance to run down to the liquor store. I'm going to give Patrick a chance to improve his impersonation of Rosie.
Or get one.
And when we come back, we are going to dissect and digest and compress the summer movies that are going to be coming out. We're going to start with talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're going to get all the way through Dunkirk because that's Patrick's pick.
Oh, can't wait.
Patrick can't wait for Dunkirk. So go take a break, run down to your local liquor store, listeners, get some liquor, play some Pac-Man, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, Patrick?
Hey, guess who's here?
Who's here?
David Mitchell.
Wait, isn't that guy from Alan Act?
No, all in act. Hey, he's here to tell us about his schedule.
His schedule? Like what he does every day?
We want to know his BMs.
Oh, I have 2. And I mean number 2.
Dave's here to talk about his upcoming schedule for All in Act.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Tell us all about your spring schedule for All in Act Theater.
Our spring schedule has some really great stuff coming up. First of all, we are opening in April 28th through May with Ken Ludwig's fantastic, hilarious farce, Lend Me a Tenor, followed by our student production in June of William Shakespeare's classic Romeo and Juliet.
I hear that's a comedy.
Oh, well, I'm sure it has funny moments.
What else are you guys doing?
Oh, well, we're following that up in September, October with Sleuth, followed by The Crucible by Arthur Miller, and we're ending the year with Ray Cooney's hilarious farce, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
If anybody wanted to go find out more information about All an Act or the upcoming productions, where might they go?
Oh, you might go to www.allanact.net. Not Allen's Act, All an Act, ALLANACT.net. All an Act Theater is located at 652 West 17th Street in Erie, Pennsylvania. $1 of every admission is donated to Community Shelter Services and helps Erie's homeless. We are located at 652 West 17th Street, Erie, PA. You can also get us at allanact.net. To date, we have raised over $39,000 for Erie's homeless.
That's fantastic.
You can also find All an Act on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And they are also proud sponsors of See Here's the Thing.
Erie's best entertainment value. Theater lives here.
You ever wonder when Spider-Man goes to the bathroom if the toilet paper sticks to his fingers?
You ever wonder why Superman wears his underwear outside of his pants?
My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the Nerd.
And we're your hosts for the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we sometimes try to attempt to answer these questions.
This is a full spoiler podcast, and we swear a lot.
Check it out for awesome geek news, interviews, and comic book reviews. Visit jockandnerd.com. We are your superhero TV, movies, and comic book culture curators.
Boom.
Jockandnerd.com. Jock and Nerd.
We are back, and we are already laughing because Patrick's got quite the challenge ahead of him.
Yeah.
He has to impersonate Rosie from the Jetsons. But before that, Patrick, do you want to give me your best Harley Quinn impersonation?
No, they're one and the same. That's not fair.
No, I think they're different.
Oh, come on, Mr. J.
That's awesome.
Now, listeners, you may not have seen that because it's hard to see through a podcast, but Patrick actually popped his hip a little bit as he said that. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Oh, you still doing it?
No, I stopped. I stopped.
Okay, how about this, Rosie?
Thank you, Mr. Jetson.
That's
It sounds familiar.
there's a subtle difference in in how you pronounce J.
Dinner time, Mr. Jetson.
That it's the tiny nuance. It's like one shade apart. They're very close.
Pills.
That's what the good.
That's definitely Rosie.
That's what the
Definitely
good ones do.
Patrick, what is your process when you think about getting into character?
It's really a very simple process. I look it up online and then I try to emulate what I hear.
And then what we hear is it's a different character altogether. It's like we put
99.9% of the people that listen are convinced I'm a phenomenal impressionist.
Would we say convinced?
I'd like to see paperwork on those numbers.
They're so polite.
Probably fact check them. Fact check.
It may be
You're-
fake news.
You're like this special machine that we put in a certain celebrity and we press the start button, and what comes out is a different celebrity.
He's a celebrity blender impresario.
You're like that thing on Facebook that takes two celebrities and combines their faces, but you have the opposite effect. We just take one and then it's a separate one.
Oh,
at
thank
the
you.
end.
Thank you very
I think
much.
my favorite was Marlon Brando and Cartman at the same time. Anyway, Patrick has a game for us.
I do.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I do. This is a game that actually Kate and I have played in the past.
Let's not go there. I don't want to talk about our bedroom habits.
Holy cow, we play games?
Boy. That's what I could call it.
Okay. So basically, Kate has this habit of picking up terminology from something, and she asked me to define it.
Uh-oh.
And as shocking as it may sound, I don't know the definition. But that doesn't stop me. I make up something based on what I hear.
Okay.
So I was thinking about this and trying to put something together, and I was listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Why would you do such a thing?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry. And something struck me in the beginning of the podcast.
That must have hurt.
Where
See how it feels to be the host?
gonna punch you.
Nut punch.
No.
There's two of them.
Oh, I heard the word.
There are two of them. So,
No.
the beginning of the podcast, Anthony was lamenting that it was the Jock and Nerd podcast, but they never speak of sports.
Okay.
True.
So, I have put
Fuck.
a game together of sport terminology.
I'm out.
No. You're in. So the way this happens is very simple. I will say a term, a phrase that has something to do with sport. Kate will go first and give the definition that she thinks it is.
Okay.
Imran will give his definition second, and Anthony, if he knows it, will give the correct one.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Can Imran improve my definition?
He sure can.
Okay.
If he feels that you are correct, but you're a little off,
Or I'm missing some knowledge that perhaps...
Imran knows. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So again,
I don't know how that's possible, but okay.
If you don't know it, you're going to make it up.
What if I know it? Just say it.
It's up to you. It's up to you how you play the game. You get points for creativity. And Anthony, I'm hoping you know these.
I'm hoping I do as well. If I don't, I've just lost all credibility.
All right, so
I'm going to have to find a new jock for the show if you screw this up.
The pressure is on. The first phrase comes from rowing.
Oh, okay, I know this one.
And the term is catch a crab.
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking.
So Kate goes first. Give me a definition of what is, in rowing, what is catch a crab?
Well, you see, rowers are kind of promiscuous. And often they will train in co-ed. They will train with the male team, they'll train with the female team, just to build up their endurance. And they often encourage each other to stay overnight at stay-away camps, for rowing, like you do. And quite often, the person that sits at the front of the boat is called the coxswain. One of those terms. I'm not making this up. That's true.
I know. Right. You're close.
And well, that's actually Greek for penis holder.
Oh,
and,
boy.
The coxswain, it actually sometimes, because of their habits, will often get certain STDs down there in that region, and often they get the crab. So that's what it means.
Catching
to catch
a crab is the coxswain.
Being the coxswain at the front of the boat and touching too many peepees.
A dirty coxswain. That's
Dirty coxswain.
All right, Imran, your definition of catch a crab in rowing.
Well, look, the only thing I know about rowing is I have done CrossFit where they use the rowing machine, and I hate the rowing machine because unlike taking a jog where you can stop and walk and rest, once you start rowing, you really can't stop rowing otherwise you look like a dick. So I think catch a crab is what happens to the guy in the back if he's slacking. The people in front are like, hey, pick it up, you're going to catch a crab. And they literally flick their oar into the water and toss a crab at his face. That's kind of a motivational thing. That's my definition.
Excellent.
Sticking to it.
Excellent. Anthony, do you know the real definition?
I do.
Excellent.
Really?
Tell us.
I do. It's when a oar blade, the blade of the oar gets caught, in quotes, in water.
You look that up.
Correct. And what happens is, as they're rowing, if the blade accidentally catches the water, the handle flies back very quickly into the chest or head of the rower, and you catch a crab. Hang on, let me read it.
So when you're trying to clear the water for the next row, if
Yes.
it hits the water, you're screwed.
After you remove your oar from the water, you flip it so it's parallel with the water so as to prepare for another stroke. If you fail to remove the oar in time, the blade acts like a brake, and the handle whips back towards you. Violent crabs, and actually reject a rower from the boat.
Whoa!
Not actually
Reading
the
is
kind
hard.
of crustacean you want to catch.
Are there compilation videos of this on YouTube?
I need to
would love
see
to see a
that. What?
catch a crab
Yes.
compilation.
There
Just
are.
dudes getting hit with oars.
Yeah. Oh, it's violent. It is violent.
I need to see this. I'm going to laugh at this.
Okay,
So hard.
stop.
We are on to our second phrase.
I can't wait.
I would have
Second
went
phrase.
with Kate being the closer of the two.
Thank you.
Actually, no, because Imran did say they
My made up shit was pretty close.
I liked it.
Actually, it was.
The second one comes from the world of baseball.
Oh,
And
no.
Kate, the phrase is frozen rope.
Frozen rope. Okay. This is actually a prison term. Often, you are encouraged, in prison to go into the showers with soap on a rope. But sometimes the pipes burst because it's wintertime in prison. And when the rope on the soap freezes, you are SOL. You are shit out of luck because you better look out. Because if you drop the soap, the rope's going to break. It's frozen.
And then in baseball.
Oh, well, I just...
All right, that's good. No, that's good. That's fine. That's fine.
Sometimes in the showers in Fenway Park, the pipes break, and the pitcher goes to shower up, and he drops the soap, and the rope breaks.
Okay.
So, baseball.
Imran, frozen rope.
This one, I'm just gonna go off Kate's thing here and say it's actually when in prison they play a friendly game of baseball in the shower, and you have this frozen rope problem because they use it as the ball. I don't know. Man, I don't even know what that frozen rope has to do with baseball. That's a good one.
That's
good.
All right, Anthony, are you aware of the phrase frozen rope?
I am aware.
Excellent.
So basically a frozen rope, it can be two different definitions. Similar, though. It could be like a hard hit line drive out in the outfield. So it's like a rope. You hit it on a rope. So it's like straight
out.
Rope. Yeah, frozen rope. Or it also can be when an outfielder catches the ball and then throws the ball to whatever base to get out the runner.
Excellent.
And
yes. Give him a ding.
The frozen rope. Whoa.
They do what they do in the shower. They get a ding.
Straight shot from the...
It's basically on a line. Instead of saying a line, it's a rope.
Yep. Excellent. All right, I've got three more.
Thank God.
I've got three more. This is from the world of basketball, Kate.
Oh, I'm much better at this.
Basketball. All right.
I can't wait.
Posterize.
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 This is when you have a really tall center and he's not very smart and he just stares at the backboard the entire game. He doesn't move. He just stares at the post and gets posterized.
His eyes kind of glaze over.
That's his job. He just puts his hands up and looks at the post.
I'm not going to say that's right or wrong, but Imran, what do you think?
And he just keeps screaming, ball, 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 ball.
There it is. He's just pointing at it. There, it's over there.
Ball.
Posterize. Look, I'm a graphic designer by trade, so immediately my mind goes to the Photoshop filter that kind of makes everything like trippy. So I'm going to say it's that moment in basketball where you get hit so hard that all you see is like trippy, dripping colors. And they're like, yo, that dude got posterized in that one. You see that?
And Imran, just to clarify, what stadium was that person from that you just impersonated? Because I just want to know where.
The Barclays Center in Brooklyn? I don't know.
Okay. Oh, that's Brooklyn. Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. All right. Anthony, posterize. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Of course I do. Imran was a little bit closer. Then he went on his like acid trip rant and just went way far away from it. But you were closer. It is the term of being like on a poster. So it's basically Michael Jordan kind of made this famous, but it's basically when a player goes up for a dunk and another player tries to block him,
and he gets
he doesn't block him. The guy converts the dunk, so he's been posterized.
Oh, I was very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually the poster is made of that person being dunked on.
That is correct.
Dude did get posterized. Wow, I'm surprised.
You were close, Imran. And then you went on your trippy Doctor Strange feels thing.
It's always the drugs with me. Yeah. Always the drugs.
Yeah. All right, two more.
I can't wait.
All right, this is another basketball term.
Great.
This is actually, I love this one. I think this is my favorite one.
Okay.
The phrase is, ball don't lie. Ball don't lie, L-I-E. Ball don't lie.
Okay. Well, given the fact...
In the showers.
Given the fact that there was Deflategate in football, about the deflated balls. This is when in basketball, the other team tries to cheat by hiding the basketballs.
Okay.
And, basketball players are pretty tall and their shorts are pretty big. So sometimes they try to hide the basketballs in their shorts. But, you look around at the 10 players on the court and you can find the ball because the ball don't lie.
That ball don't lie, let me tell you.
Emron, what do you got?
Oh, my God. This one is hard. Ball don't lie is basically the ball when it's in motion. I don't know. Ball. I'm imagining it's some kind of like it's out of bounds, but it's on the line, but it's not on the line. Ball don't lie. That's all. That's a rough one.
Anthony, tell me you know this one. I love this one.
I do know this one.
Jesus.
I quite enjoy Ball Don't Lie.
Yeah. Yep.
You're both wrong. There's that. It's basically a form of karma in basketball.
Wow.
So it's like, let's say in the instant a player gets called for a foul that was kind of questionable. So he goes to the free throw line to shoot his foul shots, and the other team's arguing like that was a terrible call. So then the guy goes up to the line and misses his free throws. It's basically like karma, like, oh, the ball don't lie. Like you weren't supposed to be up there anyways.
Yep, that is correct.
The player that made it kind of popular is Rasheed Wallace.
That's correct too.
Jeez.
Yeah,
It's like I
he
was
used to
gonna-
yell "ball don't lie" all the time.
Yep.
But that ball don't like. I was gonna say initially I went to like a magic 8-ball and basketball kind of like the ball will tell the truth always, and that's kind of
It is kind of like that. Yes, that the ball will tell you the truth. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot here. The nerd is just mind blowing. Wow.
The ball chooses the wizard. Is the
Yeah.
word
Oh,
we're looking
no.
for.
All right, the last one, and
I'm having fun.
I think the easiest one.
Oh crap!
I
That
think
means
the-
I'm gonna.
I think it's the
screw
easiest
this up.
one. This is a
So let's go. Wait, so far you're both at zeros.
That's
Yeah, we
right.
didn't actually get any, did we?
But
Haven't
if
done any.
if we're playing golf, we're winning.
But
That's
we're
true.
not.
I'm under par.
So the last one I have, I think, is the easiest one.
Good.
It's a football term.
Oh shit!
And it is called. Now I have to tell you, I did not pick the soccer ones on purpose. I do remember one, and I'll throw it because you played soccer.
I played soccer and basketball, but that didn't help me in that category.
Well, if I can remember the definition, I have one more. Hang on a minute. So
Is it a lightning round
yes, the lightning
with
round.
one definition?
I would like to see if Anthony could get the soccer one. That would be
Well, okay,
impressive.
all right, because he's got Google. Okay, so number 5 is a football term, and it's called stinger.
Stinger.
Is this football or football or
American
football?
Or football.
American football.
Football. Imran, do you want to go first?
No, because I have no idea what stinger.
Stinger.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, go.
It is when it's really cold and the ball is frozen and the quarterback just whips it at a dude and it stings him in the side because it's cold and hard. Ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. Kate?
This is when the guy, I'm starting off real great. The guy, let me clarify. This is when the quarterback gets sacked. This is actually really cute.
Okay.
He gets sacked and he yells, "Ouch, that stung!" And then the other guy gives him a hug, and there's a frozen rope involved. And,
Sadly, you are close.
am I really?
Close.
Sadly,
Whoa.
you are close. Anthony, do you want to clean
It's
that
when
up?
he gets blitzed and wasted.
No,
and,
you're further away.
You're going further away.
He accidentally brings a crab to the game instead of the ball. And he
all
throws
coming
it.
around.
He throws it like a frozen rope to the outfielder,
All right,
who
you're done.
then
Cut off.
Who
Turn-
then punts it
Yeah.
through,
Drop the mic.
through a Quidditch field, and
Litchfield.
just turn me down.
No, I didn't.
And then duck duck goose, you're done.
Okay, you were closer before. Anthony, help us out, please.
I've actually experienced a stinger before.
I'm so
Not
sorry.
in football, but it is it's a type of injury basically, where like a body part goes numb for a little bit.
Yep, the hit pinches a nerve.
Yeah, it's like a pinched nerve. It's like a neck. It's more of a neck injury or a nerve injury, but you're basically. And I had this happen to me in wrestling.
Whoa.
Where I was wrestling,
Professional wrestling?
professional wrestling,
Oh.
but high school wrestling, and basically got my neck kind of cranked, and then like my left arm just went numb.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a stinger. That's a stinger. All right, here's how the lightning round is going to work.
Okay.
For fairness, I'm going to throw this one right to Anthony first.
Oh, but okay.
Yeah, and he can give us the right one if he knows it. If he doesn't know it, then you two can, or even if he does, you two can so be
So
creative.
you're almost making a little wager. You're thinking Anthony's not going to know it.
I'm thinking he doesn't. If we give him time, he'll know it, but I'm guessing he won't know it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it is a soccer, it is a football term that is called, Anthony, it's called nutmeg.
Oh.
I got nothing. For
Yeah.
that. I would wager a guess it has to do with a man or a woman's private parts, but I got nothing from that.
All right, Kate. What do you got?
I have an actual guess.
All right, well, then we'll go to Imran then.
Okay.
Imran, what do you got?
A nutmeg is when you get cleated and the balls don't lie. A nutmeg will turn a dude into a soprano. I don't know.
Kate, do you know it?
I think this is when players just pass the ball back and forth like as a warm-up. Is it not? I have another definition.
Go ahead. What's your other one? Oh, wait. Do you want the real one first? No, give yours.
Give
yours.
mine? Okay. This is when... No, I don't have anything.
It's from Family Guy.
I know, that's what I'm thinking, Meg. So it's got to be an ugly girl. It's the girl that's the water girl.
Oh no, the nut. You were close with your definition, Kate.
Oh shit!
Nutmeg is the aim is to kick, roll, dribble, throw, or push the ball between the opponent's legs. That's a nutmeg.
Oh, like a 5-hole in hockey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any hockey terms?
I did, and they were way too easy. 5-hole was actually one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5-hole was one of them.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. I learned things.
Who won?
I'm telling you, Anthony, I'm thoroughly impressed. You did really well.
Yeah.
I tried.
You saved your job.
This is actually a test.
Talk about more sports things on our show now. Probably not. Yeah.
I think we've talked more sports on someone else's show than we ever have on our own show.
In 2 years of our own show, absolutely.
Now I have to call our show. See, here's the sports.
I've been sitting here with just a raging boner.
Geek boner.
It's
sport
oddly
boner.
useful for something.
Oh yeah, you got to have a sound effect. Sport boner.
Sport boner. We're gonna have to. Anthony's gonna have to cut that for us.
I have it, but then I'm just wearing like a jock strap too, so it's hard. Never mind.
That makes sense.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we are finally going to get to the summer movie preview with the Jock and Nerd, talking no more sports and all movies. So sit tight, go get some nutmeg, catch a crab. We'll be right back. Hey, listener, thanks for choosing to listen to See Here's the Thing. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen and making our podcast great. A new podcast I recently started listening to is Broke Bot Mountain from Blazing Caribou Studios. The show has a great name, starting out as a fan cast for HBO's Westworld. Carrie, David, and Phil have grown the show into an exploration of pivotal sci-fi and Western movies, TV, and tech. Constantly on the lookout for connections to Law & Order, Seinfeld, and for some reason Power Rangers, Brokebot Mountain is a fun trip through a maze of unique and funny perspectives on genre entertainment. You can find them directly at blazingcariboustudios.com or look for Brokebot Mountain on iTunes or anywhere you can listen to podcasts. So let's finally get to some movie news. Movie news. Let's just dive right in. There are a ton of great movies. I feel like I say this every summer because the best movies do come out in the summer. Or Christmas nowadays. Those are one
or March.
Yeah. Or March. Or, fuck it. Every other month there's a great movie coming out.
Yeah.
But typically the summer movie push is pretty intense. And it's already started off with Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
And I'll tell the listeners right now, if you want a spoiler-filled, wonderful review, download the Jock and Nerd episode just last week. It's wonderful. And anything we could say...
Yeah, we gushed over this one a little bit since we were very excited to talk about it because it's just a fun ride.
Yeah. It is deserved. And we will say at this point, this is a spoiler warning. We will be talking about some spoilers. So if you have not seen the film yet, you might want to skip ahead about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So just letting you know. But the Jock and Nerd saw it. We saw it. Here's our full disclosure. We were not huge fans of the first film. But I have to say, after walking away from the film on Tuesday, I loved it. And I am so willing to go back now to the first movie and rewatch it just with a different lens because something was really right about the second movie. They got so many things right. The comedy was on point. The performances were even better. The story had way more heart. And Baby Groot, god damn it.
Yeah.
Baby Groot, take my money now.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting that you guys like this one way better than the first one, that you weren't into the first one. Part of the problem I've always had with the whole comic book movie genre is I'm always more excited for the second one because by nature, the first one, you have to set everything up.
Yep.
You have to give the origin. You got to explain the characters, and largely... I know all this going in. It's like, okay, I know what I'm going to see. I know what the Spider-Man origin is. I know what the Batman origin is. They're going to show me over and over again. The reason I really enjoyed the first Guardians movies because James Gunn and Marvel Studios took some obscure characters that nobody knew who the shit these people were and just knocked it out of the park. And that's why I don't know if the second one for me was better than the first one. The two together are like an amazing, large entertainment experience.
But Anthony, what did you think?
I quite enjoyed the second one. I was going to say I find it really interesting. First off, the second one I thought was fantastic film, great comedy, a lot of heart. Towards the end there, that third act I think was just me just smiling and trying to hold back jock tears. I mean, it was awesome. But I find it interesting that you guys are bigger fans of the second one than the first one because, like, the internet as a whole, if you could take it and like get its general opinion, seems to think the first one is just better than the second one. So
That's
I
surprising
find it interesting
to me.
that you guys are like, the second one, that's the
I
one
feel like the humor settled in the second one. I feel like at times the first, it was too much of a goofball movie.
Yeah.
Like some of the John C. Reilly stuff and her name's her
Glenn Close?
Glenn Close. I
Close,
did not
yeah.
like Glenn Close at all.
Yeah, I didn't care for her at all.
And one of our biggest sticking points was that they come out to say Drax takes things literally, but no, he doesn't. Not all the time. There were times someone would say something. Yeah.
And I turned to Kate and went, why isn't he taking that literally? That kind of bugged me that was a big deal for him, but yet it wasn't always a big deal.
And one of my biggest things thinking back to it now was Yondu in the first film was just kind of a jerk. He had no real point except to detour Peter Quill from getting places, except at the end of the film when he got away and he looks at the capsule that he opens and he smiles and you think, why is he smiling? Like, why? What's behind that? Because he obviously let him go and is not too upset about it. So what's behind that? And we got to see that in this film. And oh my God, they set us up for such a big fall at the end because they made Yondu not likable, but then likable because of the sympathy with his crew. Mm-hmm. Pairing him with Rocket was the best idea they had.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That was a great pairing. And then having Baby Groot with them all. Baby Groot was awesome.
No, I really enjoyed, gentlemen, how you guys do the positives and then you do the nitpicky things, and I really enjoy that how you guys review the movie.
Thanks.
Yeah, really, very much. But I'm going to go right to nitpicky.
Cool.
Okay, let's do it. That's usually the most fun part of the reviews.
Because here's where we can fight.
Hard time nitpicking this one a little bit, but
one of my, and actually Kate and I didn't talk about this. One of the things that I thought was a little too convenient.
Okay.
Was that Star-Lord has God-like powers. He's God. He's superhuman. He'll live forever. He can create electricity in his hand and. Oh, but if you do this, you'll lose all your powers and you'll go back to being a regular human being. And it was just a little too convenient to me. Like, he's a god. Oh, this is going to make the franchise really interesting going forward. How he's a god. He'll be a god forever. Oh, no, nope. He's not. They're going to take these powers away from him that he just found out he had. And he really didn't even use them.
He didn't know.
Can I counter that?
Yeah, please do.
If there's two things that come to mind. First off, they had to take that away from him storyline wise moving forward, because if he is going to be a god against like Thanos or
he could just kill him.
Anyone, right. He's just way too overpowered. So for the character's sake, he's way too overpowered. They had to take that away.
And now, I agree. I just think that's a little too convenient.
Okay, and I can see your point. I would also say if you found that convenient, you have to also find it very convenient that this ragtag group of people could kill a god, because they killed
a celestial. Yeah.
With some space batteries.
Batteries.
Yeah. I mean, there was
you'd have to take issue with both. I don't think you could take issue with that.
So here's some quick tidbits about the movie so far. It hit 500 million worldwide on Tuesday. 157 million of that was domestic. It's got an 8.1 on IMDb and a 67% on Metacritic. How about to wrap this up? Give me your favorite part and your least favorite part in a sentence.
Favorite part has to be Baby Groot. I know he has to grow up, but I really don't want him to. But Kate had mentioned to me, and I agree with you. I'm going to steal it from you.
That's fine.
That they run the risk of minions-ing Baby Groot. And overdoing Baby Groot and making people just end up hating Baby Groot. Because
the minions in Despicable Me were so funny in the first film because they were peppered into. They were nutmegged.
They don't work on their own, do they?
They don't work on their own.
They were nutmegged into the film.
They're nutmegged.
And
catching the crayon.
Oh my God! Now we're on to a Minions movie and Despicable Me 3, and it's overkill.
So I love Baby Groot. I don't want to see Baby grow up to be teenage Groot, but I understand it has to happen.
But you have to understand, like, if he was Baby Groot in the third film, that would be too much Baby Groot. So it has to be angsty teen Groot.
I agree. But I loved Baby Groot so much more than I loved adult Groot. Loved it. And then if I had to complain, and again, another nitpicky, and this is really, really nitpicky, we're going to make you side burst with laughter. You're going to bust a gut laughing. And then 10 seconds later, we're going to play soft music, and it's going to be a really sad moment. And we're going to be in your face, and I love you, and I care for you, and but then we're going to make you laugh really hard. It's going to be silly and kooky. And then we're going to play some soft
So you're saying
music.
like the pacing of how they...
It just was back and forth with this like
uneven. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
It was like back and forth, the serious and happy. And like I said, it's real nitpicky, but that's my one.
Okay, my favorite was Yondu. That was my favorite part. He was my favorite of the whole film. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. He was just my favorite overall. And like I said, when he kicked it, I teared up. I got a little choked up there. Yeah. Least favorite part, this is probably weird, is how you were saying how things were convenient. I thought how convenient that they made everybody really hate Rocket the first 10 minutes. It was like, okay, I can see where this is going. They're going to make him not want to be around family. They're gonna make him the scapegoat. They're gonna make him stay by himself. It just seemed a little too like, okay, this is where it's going. That was my
little spoon-fed,
nitpicky, yeah.
Imran?
Ooh, I mean, I will. My favorite part is actually the fact that they killed a loved character. Like Marvel has always been criticized by like nobody ever dies except for the villains, and nobody cares about the villains. This one was like, the funeral, his whole character arc. I was surprised that they killed him, and good for them. Keep him dead. Like there's some stakes in this universe now. Least favorite. Look, while the humor was great, I gotta agree with some of your sentiments. Is that it became like Baby Groot became almost too gimmicky. Like he was really cute in the beginning, but he almost wasn't the funniest character for me. Because you kind of knew what he was going to expect, and grow him up. Let's get to teenage. Let's get to adult Groot because it's going to wear thin.
Yeah.
But some of the humor was just a little uneven. But Groot being just a little bit too gimmicky, I think.
And Anthony.
So I'm going to echo your guys' thoughts, but then I'm going to get really nitpicky. So originally I was going to say Yondu, his story arc, but since we've kind of mentioned Yondu a lot, I'll point out a specific character moment. And for me, that one was when Star-Lord is kind of in this trance by Ego, and then Ego reveals that he killed his mom. And without skipping a beat, Chris Pratt's acting, he gets super serious and goes like, "You what?" Yeah. And without skipping a beat, doesn't blink, just takes out his guns and starts shooting the guy.
That's awesome.
I found that to be very good character work, very subtle character work.
Absolutely.
On the flip side, I'll echo your guys' thoughts again with the comedy, but I'm going to point to a specific moment. So the part where Ego is like, "Who the hell do you think you are?" after he's just got shot and he's berating Chris Pratt's Star-Lord, he turns into David Hasselhoff. Now, it's played for laughs, obviously. Everyone's laughing in the theater. But if you think about that exact moment, that's a very serious moment in the movie that didn't need to be played for laughs.
I get it.
That's what Patrick was saying. Like, in the middle of this, sincere moment.
That's a moment where, if you think back to the first movie, remember how cold that movie opened? Because it was his mom dying of cancer. Of the brain tumor.
Well, even the villain in that movie was a lot darker.
Right. So then you take that moment and you find out who the murderer of his mom is, the person that's caused all this trauma in his life. And then he turns into David Hasselhoff for a second.
Yeah. For a joke.
It kind of cheapens the moment just a little bit.
I agree. Good stuff, guys.
From Guardians to Aliens.
Okay.
We're going to jump. We're going to stay in space a little bit. Full disclosure from me, I've never really been into the Aliens saga myself. Have you guys? Did you see Prometheus?
I did. I'm actually a big Aliens fan.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love the Aliens, but Anthony's the big Aliens guy.
Oh, I'm so happy that you have a perspective on this. So, Alien Covenant is coming out, and it's featuring a cast of Catherine Waterston, Michael Fassbender, Billy Crudup, Danny McBride, and James Franco, of all people. Ugh. And Alien Covenant takes place 10 years after Prometheus. And I looked up Prometheus today because I needed to understand where it's coming from. Spoiler alert, basically everyone dies in that film except for Michael Fassbender.
And the one doctor lady.
And a doctor lady. So I heard that Prometheus was not well received.
See, I've heard conflicting stuff. I've heard from people that I kind of go to as trusted sources on the internet, and they've said it's good. They said it's not the best, but they've said it's good. And then I've also seen the bad stuff too. So I've seen good stuff, bad stuff. So I'm still kind of like, I'm going to see this for sure.
So tell us a little bit, Anthony, what can we expect with Covenant?
Covenant, well, you got Ridley Scott directing, so whenever you had a Ridley Scott film, the film, regardless of quality, is going to be gorgeous. He always shoots very awesome films, very exotic locales. He knows how to frame everything. Alien Covenant is the sequel to Prometheus, yet prequel to Alien.
Ooh.
So it's in that weird...
It's the bridge between...
Well, sort of. They're going to make another one. This isn't the last. So it's this weird, like, we're going to continue the story of Prometheus, yet build to the first Alien, which maybe, hopefully, you guys have seen. Maybe not.
I have.
Long time
Yeah,
ago.
which is Alien's an all-timer. Alien and Aliens are both all-timers.
They're both incredible movies.
Yes, I agree.
What you can expect is a lot of people actually didn't like Prometheus. So from what I've read, they're not really. This isn't more of a Prometheus sequel. It's more of an Alien prequel.
Okay.
So they're leaning more towards relying on Alien. Originally, this wasn't even supposed to have Alien in the title, but everyone, all the dumb fans were like, "Oh, Prometheus had no aliens in it. What the hell? We came to see aliens." So now Ridley Scott's like, "Okay, I'm going to give you aliens." And from what I've read, this movie's quite gory. It's quite violent. It's kind of a mix between Alien, that horror vibe, and then going into Aliens, where it was more of that sci-fi adventure vibe. So it's like a mix of both.
I heard a rumor, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they're going to try to introduce, Sigourney Weaver's parents in this film.
Oh,
that I haven't heard. I've heard rumors, but I don't think that's where they're going, because if they do, first off, I think that'd be a terrible idea. Just because that makes things almost too cute.
Yeah, there's no need. Wink, wink. There's no need to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. The whole point of Alien was that it was just this ragtag group of basically truck drivers that were in space and came across something horrible.
And you see that with this cast. They're kind of this one. It's interesting is that this science experiment, they sent couples. They're all either married couples or they're together on this mission. And the parents thing, this was the problem with the Amazing Spider-Man with what's-his-face, Andrew Garfield, and Peter Parker's parents. You know what? Nobody cares about Peter Parker's parents. Yeah. That's not the point of the story.
Imran will find a way to relate everything to Spider-Man. When it has absolutely nothing
For sure.
Nothing. This had nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Imran, can you relate catching a crab to Spider-Man?
Well, in issue 237, way back in I don't. It was Crab
Aunt May went to the store and got some crabs.
Green Goblin threw exploding crabs at him. And
he caught it.
But we're going to get 2 Michael Fassbenders in this.
Woohoo!
You excited for that?
I am excited.
Patrick's so are they both androids, or one is like the human?
They're
actual
both androids.
They're both androids.
Apparently, he's got a pretty fancy wig. That's what I read. He's got a pretty neat wig for the one.
One of them wears a wig. This movie comes out in the UK tomorrow, and so there will be reviews and things all over.
Oh, cool.
There's already reviews out.
There is reviews, yeah, and they're kind of mixed reviews so far. They said the action and the thrills are there, but I don't know. I'm very interested to see this one, because Prometheus, I think it's interesting, like you said, Anthony, that he put the name Alien in it. Like, why was Ridley Scott trying to distance himself from the franchise by not using the word alien in the title?
Why?
Yeah, why would he do that?
Well, he wanted to make a different story that was just barely like strands connected to Alien. He really wanted to explore it. Well, there was the thing about Alien, real quick, not to like totally derail this, but the thing about Alien is everyone obsessed about one shot in the movie where they called it the space jockey, and it was basically this fossilized creature on a telescope. That there was one shot of it, and everyone, all these Alien fans on the internet were and even at the time, whatever existed back then, were like, "What the fuck is that?
Who's that guy? I want to know about that guy."
So basically, Ridley Scott just took that obsession over what the hell that guy was and decided he wanted to make 3 movies out of it.
I don't know what random guy.
Wow. Yeah, it does seem odd to me to not use the name that would be synonymous, where people would understand what it is.
Yeah.
The space jockey.
I don't even know. I don't even think I knew that Prometheus was
an alien
movie. Yeah. I think I just was like, oh, it's a sci-fi film. That's great.
Yeah.
He didn't. I think that was purposeful. I don't think he wanted you to know that that was an alien movie.
That's not how you sell films, Ridley Scott. What are you doing?
Yeah,
how you sell tickets to that thing where you're like, no, this is Alien, but it's not Alien. But
you know how you do sell films? You keep putting Johnny Depp in them.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
And everything.
So, segueing quickly past Baywatch,
Thank God.
we're going to go, unless you want to talk about Baywatch, which...
I think you've already talked too much right now about
Okay,
it.
moving on.
That is enough. Yeah. There's a Baywatch movie happening. Moving on.
We've got Pirates 5, Let's Get Johnny Depp Out of Debt. And we've got...
Is that the official title?
Yeah.
Is that why they're making this movie?
Yep.
Because my question is, who wanted this movie? Why are they still making these movies?
Because Johnny Depp's in debt.
Yeah. The last one we saw, I was like, okay.
I liked
done.
it.
It was good, but I was done with it.
Aren't they all the same movie, though, really, ultimately?
Pretty much.
But the last one had mermaids.
Oh, that's different.
Sirens.
Sirens. This one's got ghost sharks.
Ghost Dad? Ghost Dad's in this movie?
Ghost Dad.
Ghost... Bill Cosby?
Oh,
Yeah.
no. May he rest in peace.
Oh, Patrick, please, can you please right now, Patrick, let's just simmer for a second. Can you give me Bill Cosby's line in Pirates 5?
As Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that's not confusing.
Ooh, savvy. Ooh. hang on.
I'm hanging.
All right. Got some Jello pudding pops in the savvy. That's what I got.
Christ.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Imran, I love you. Thank you.
You did what I asked.
4 This Ball Don't Lie out of 5.
He's lying to you.
Oh, I know.
We've got Johnny Depp. We've got Javier Bardem, which, Patrick, I know you're dying to do an impression of him, but we'll save that for another podcast.
Nope.
Jeffrey Rush. We've also got Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom returning, which is interesting because we're going to probably explore a little bit of what happened to Will Turner after he became Captain Barnacle. Official title.
Captain Barnacles.
Captain Barnacle. And then I was scrolling through the cast list.
I think he's a SpongeBob character.
Captain Barnacle?
Captain Barnacle.
Captain Bad Acne.
Captain Bad Acne. At the bottom of the cast list, this could have been a joke, but I don't think it is. It says Paul McCartney.
Yeah, it does. Credited as jail guard too. Wow.
Oh, shit.
So we're gonna get a little Beatles.
Can I pause and rewind for a second?
Sure.
I did mean to ask a question about Guardians.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on one second.
All right.
No,
Everybody, shut the fuck up. He's got a question.
I'm sorry. I'm going back. Sorry. Wasn't Miley Cyrus supposed to be in that movie?
She was.
He was in the post-credit scene.
Wasn't
she the helmet?
And that new team, where he's talking to Ving Rhames is there.
Yeah.
She's the voice of the robot head.
That's what we thought.
My God.
That's what we thought. Yeah.
But Miley Cyrus is officially part of the MCU, which is nuts.
The world is ending.
I just we weren't sure where that was. Okay, so go on. I'm sorry.
That's the original Guardians team from like the 70s also. This is such deep cuts. Nobody would have known who those people were. In fact, that Guardians team is fairly new. They've been around since like late 60s and they've been through multiple versions.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump back, but that was a question that was lingering for me.
Nerdy. Jesus.
That's okay. Getting back to Pirates 5, Johnny Depp's wallet is empty. Captain Salazar is played by Javier Bardem, and
I love
apparently
this.
he's got a vendetta against Johnny Depp.
Who
And
doesn't?
Who doesn't? And we get 2 new characters. Their names are Karina and Henry, and apparently Henry is the son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. Think about that. So there's going to be a love story. We can already tell that. Jeffrey Rush is back because the beard still fits him. Why not? And apparently Johnny Depp is looking for the Trident of Poseidon to fight against Captain Salazar.
That's a tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme.
Jeffrey Rush has the weird, like, floaty, hey, I'm underwater, but I'm not underwater hair going on. I don't know. At this point, like, these effects on these things are, like, so distracting. It makes it hard to watch the movie sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's so much stuff going on in CGI.
That's right. Their hair or the creatures on their face are always moving.
Yeah, it's distracting. How am I supposed to watch it through the lines when there's stuff crawling all over you?
Well, wasn't Medusa also in this series? The male Medusa?
That's Calypso.
Oh, Calypso, sorry.
Calypso.
We're at the point in the show where Imran's now giving his opinion unasked for.
I finally feel at home on my own.
Well, here's an interesting clip. Surprising to nobody. Apparently, Johnny Depp's been kind of a bad boy on the set. They're saying he's late. They're saying he's drinking. Some people, there's rumors that they have like code phrases for when he's coming in the set, if he's ready. He just hasn't been behaving well. So that's going to be interesting to see if they do any more of these
This
after this.
This is not a shock to anybody.
No.
I bet all he says is whatever. He's like, Johnny, where you been? We were shooting 2 hours ago. He's just like, pirate. It's like that's his answer to everything every time that he gets away with it.
Pirate?
Now that was a wonderful impersonation.
He's Johnny Depp doing Keith Richards doing
Imran.
He's doing Keith Richards and they got Paul McCartney in here.
Imran, I know you have your pulse on all the movie news, so please give us a unheard of line that Johnny Depp's going to say in this film.
Where can I cash this check?
What in the hell?
It's a really bad
What,
Keith Richards
Jimmy?
doing Paul McCartney doing Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow.
And Anthony, please give me Javier Bardem's reply.
Jeez. I got nothing. I'm not playing this game.
Ole.
You're a spoil sport.
That's okay. So that's going to be coming out after the hit of the summer, Baywatch. So if you still have money in your pocket, go see Pirates 5. But
like Imran said, does anyone no one's asking for this?
Nope.
And then I'm going to throw another layer on this.
you do it.
Johnny Depp. What is the obsession with this guy? I don't understand. Like, this guy hasn't made a good film. He plays the same goddamn character in every film he's in. Look, I mean, he was a Tonto. He's fucking Captain Jack Sparrow. He's fucking making Sweeney Todd films. Like, this guy? Why are we still obsessed with Johnny Depp?
I don't know. I've never. I mean, I was not a fan of Edward Penis Hands. I was not a fan of that movie at all.
I think you
I like
saw
the
a very
early Depp
different
with the
movie.
Johnny Depp is good.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a fan of early Depp. I really wasn't.
I know that you loved him. You loved him in Willy Wonka.
Oh God, that was
my God.
that was a
That movie
travesty.
did not need to be made.
That was a travesty.
He was in Alice in Wonder. He played the Mad Hatter too.
Yeah.
I kind of like
Well,
that.
see, here's the trend: this is Disney money. He will take any Disney money they throw at him at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what's the next attraction you want to turn into a movie? I'll star in it.
He has to because he threw a punch at his wife.
Snap.
I
Oh wait, I
got
heard that
it.
one.
Yeah.
I got it. He was not very nice.
No.
But you know what is looking nice?
What?
Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Every time we see a trailer and the music comes on, we turn to each other and just start like singing it because we've been obsessed with that soundtrack ever since BVS.
She's got a great theme, a very identifiable theme. I'll give it that much. Yeah.
So in this film, we've got Gal Gadot, Robin Wright Penn, Chris Pine, David Toulis, and this film is being directed by Patty Jenkins. Who the heck is Patty Jenkins?
I took her to prom, I think.
Okay. Did she catch a crab?
Not for me.
What? Oh, she's done a
He was
lot of
supposed to do
television.
Thor to the Dark World, actually, but they kind of moved. They had like creative differences and moved on from her. But she was originally going to do that.
Okay.
She directed Monster with the Charlize Theron.
With the Charlize Theron. There you go.
The Charlize Theron.
So early reports are saying that Wonder Woman is on track for a $65 million opening weekend. We finally
okay.
got the final trailer for the film, and it pretty much kicked ass, in my opinion. How do you guys feel about this?
Like, there's a lot riding on this movie for DC Warner Brothers. They have yet to give us a good movie, right? Marvel has 15 movies in. Marvel has not made a bad movie. They haven't made a clunker. DC is trying to catch up, so there's so much riding on this. I love this last trailer. The action seemed badass. The only thing I'm worried about is every time you see the Chris Pine, he's just giving one-liners. I hope that's not all he does in the movie.
Yep.
It's usually like pretty sarcastic, and she'll say something, and he'll go, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Every time. I'm like, oh boy, I hope this is all there is, and he actually has a character.
As a loyal listener of this show, I'll ask you this: Have you guys liked Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, or Suicide Squad? That
Didn't hate Man of Steel. I know that I was in the minority there. I didn't hate it.
Okay.
BVS was no. I mean, it was no.
No.
I try to find something good about it. Gal Gadot was good in it. That's what I liked.
Okay.
Suicide Squad.
Very disappointing with that one.
Yeah. We walked out of that very disappointed. And I
knew that because I was listening to your show.
Yeah.
But I'm just leading up to my.
well, somebody was
next-
go on. What's your next thing?
So I was just leading. You know, I wanted for the new listener not to be reacquainted with.
Appreciate
your
that.
But so this is the same studio that's made all these, and this is supposed to be all in the same sort of universe. So I'm optimistic because the trailers look good, and I did like Gal Gadot, and they got a lot riding on this. I mean, it's Wonder Woman. It's the first solo female superhero movie forever, right?
Yeah.
So it's man, they got a lot going for this.
I mean, they're beating Marvel to the punch with the first female-led superhero. That's huge.
That was
Nice.
very nice.
Good job, Imran.
But you've got the same studio that made all the that thought that releasing Batman versus Superman was a good idea.
Yeah.
And all the trailers for those movies have been good trailers.
No, I would disagree with you.
Well, I mean, they've been promised more, but we've all been let down. This thing just
Wonder Woman's been the best. Wonder Woman's definitely done the best. In terms
this
of
thing just has to be better than Man of Steel at this point, and I think it will please people. But yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. The early reports were comparing it to Captain America, Marvel as a period piece. This takes place in World War I. That's a great comparison because Captain America, that's a great movie, much in the same vein. So I'm just a little nervous.
Do you think there's any weight?
I'm nervous.
Do you think there's any weight to the fact that Marvel set us up by giving us individual movies with these individual people, set up all their backstories, and then put the movies together where they're all together, as opposed to the way that DC is doing it, where let's just throw everybody into a movie and then, oops, we made a mistake. Now let's give people backstories.
Well, they want to distinguish themselves, DC. They don't want to completely copy Marvel because even though it worked, they don't want to be like judged as, oh, you're just copying them.
Right.
I think what they're trying to do is much more difficult in terms of story structure, in terms of character development. What they're attempting by making a couple and then smashing it all together is much more difficult task.
Right.
Plus, they're so reactionary to fan views. It seems like they don't have faith in their own property. Like they'll go and they'll make decisions based on the fallout of one movie instead of having a plan and sticking to it and be like, "This is what we're doing." They don't know what we're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They have 17 things in development, various stages. After Justice League, Aquaman is the only thing we know is going to come out right now. So it's all up in the air.
Yeah, interesting.
So I've got two things to ask and to discuss. The first thing is the apparent villain. This might be a spoiler if people aren't fully aware. There's actually looking like there's two villains in this film.
Yeah.
And I was surprised in a good way to hear that the secondary villain is going to be Ares, being possibly played by David Toulis.
It's rumored.
Okay.
Yeah. They've done a really good job of editing out any mention or any shot of Ares in any trailer. They've literally cut around it because I'm pretty sure we've seen climactic battles shots, just you haven't seen who she's fighting.
Yeah, and I applaud their restraint for once, because if you go back and you watch the Batman versus Superman trailers, they show you a little bit from every scene in the movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is inexcusable.
So the other thing that I want to talk about is something that I actually mentioned to Patrick before, and I think I talked to you, Imran, about it. But the fact that we are, less than a month away from the opening, and the promotion for this film has been so much less than Justice League, which isn't due out for another 6 months.
It is weird. And again, this goes back to do they not have faith in this movie? What I read was they put a lot of money into sponsoring events and being a presence at conventions and things instead of incessant trailer after trailer. But you're right. There's only been a couple of trailers, and I'm seeing the commercials more on TV. But it has been a weird promotion for the Wonder Woman. You'd think it would be a bigger buzz.
Here's how confused they are. This is an example of what happened. We went to Kohl's to go shopping, and I was just browsing through the workout clothes, like you do. And I ran over. I'm like, oh, I love this pair of workout pants. I love this pattern. Holy shit. These are Wonder Woman branded pants. And I looked at the tag, and it is clearly the logo from this movie. Yeah. And I'm like, that's pretty sweet. But the funny part was that this setup, this little
display,
this display, the Wonder Woman stuff was on the back of it. On the front was Superman stuff for women.
In the women's section.
In the women's section. I'm all for wearing Superman stuff. That's not my point. But if your film is about to come out, you put that on the front. You tell your advertising people, make sure this display goes on the front. Have a poster, because it was not clear from a single glance this was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, do you think they're just tentative because they've been burned so many times and they're just really nervous about this coming out?
We were talking about Suicide Squad, about how the trailers kicked ass and the movie did not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe they're worried that too many trailers are going to get the hype up. But
I would say that it's more just a theory, but I think they're just waiting for the Guardians hype to kind of die down.
Oh, okay.
We'll see it ramp up
I hope
later
so.
on this month until June.
she's got about 4 weeks to go.
Yeah.
Before she's born.
Look, you're gonna get one thing they do right as the costumes. You're gonna get fantastic costumes, like the costuming and all. I mean, Suicide Squad won like the best makeup, which is kind of like the costuming, prosthetic costuming, top notch costumes in all of these movies.
Yeah.
So after Wonder Woman debuts, we've got a few more films that are going to be a standout. But some of the ones that we're just going to run through real quick to just kind of note that these are coming out. We've got maybe another film that didn't need to be made, even more so than Pirates 5, which is The Mummy with Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys know why they're doing this?
They're doing a whole monster movie reboot.
Yeah, they're doing a monster. They're copying Marvel and they're rebooting the original shared universe, which is the Universal Monsters.
So Russell Crowe is actually going to become Dr. Henry Jekyll.
Does that mean new rides at Universal?
Yeah, new rides at Universal. If this means a new ride with the bad audio from Tom Cruise in that one trailer, I am there.
And you got a girl mummy. So look, gender equality rules at the box office this summer.
And she's
Wonder
badass.
Woman and a female.
I actually have a theory about this movie.
Okay.
A spoilery theory that I haven't read, but you don't sign Tom Cruise to a movie or to a franchise unless you plan on using him more.
That's true.
And I think that he will be the Mummy by the end of it.
Ooh.
Well, I can see that because in the trailer, like they've already given away that the plane crashes and he survives, and that she has given him the gift. She picked him, and I'm like, they got a bang now. They got a mate. She's the Mummy's looking for a Manny, and that's Tom Cruise.
He's gonna catch the crab.
He's gonna catch the crab.
Well, and she's kick-ass. It's the girl from Star Trek Beyond and from Kingsman.
Yeah.
Which we love. So I was very happy to actually read her name the other day because I had no idea it was even her from the trailer.
Although she looks a little bit too much like the Enchantress from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I can't shake that comparison. But Sophia Boutella she is a great actor.
I wonder if they both do the sexy Mamba dance.
The
Enchantress
with
did.
a bad voiceover and CGI and everything.
Mere mortals, watch me as I samba down the stairs.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thank you. I've been working on it, and I actually had the samba to go with it, but you didn't see it.
I did.
To redeem us after The Mummy, we get Cars 3. Thank the Lord. Because
they're still making Cars movies?
Yeah,
this is another thing I didn't know about.
You betcha. Owen Wilson's coming back along with Nathan Fillion. And even Paul Newman, rest in peace, is somehow returning.
Oh, you can cut. Look, if you can put Carrie Fisher Young and Grand Moff Tarkin, who's been dead since like 1996, in Rogue One, Paul Newman audio should be no problem.
Every time I hear that, I think you're saying Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma Tarkin.
Good old Grandma Tarkin.
General Tarkin's grandma. It was Grandma Tarkin told me I would work on the Death Star one day, and sure enough, it came true.
So Cars is actually a movie series I got into late, and by late I mean like the past 3 months. And I'm very sorry that I missed it because it's brilliant, it's darling, it's charming.
But I'm kind of with Imran. I don't know if we need another one.
We need another one.
I don't know if we do.
Shut your
third
trap.
one, the trailer it's very dark. And gloomy. It's very weird for a Pixar movie. Like it's like washed out. What's his face trying to regain his youth and whether he's gonna die at the end. Like it was a weird trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe they're taking a bold step. Maybe they're gonna kill off a character like Marvel.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Dark Knight version of Cars. It'd be great.
Continuing the trend of movies that don't need to be made again. Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh boy.
Can we just move on? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
And move on with the next one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Despicable Me 3.
Yeah, no.
Basically, it's Steve Carell times 2 in this film. That's it. That's the premise.
However, I watched this trailer. The Trey Parker is playing this bad guy. Whatever. This guy's like he's stuck in the 80s.
Yes.
He's got shoulder pads and a porn stash and a high top. That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
because it had Michael Jackson and he's doing the moonwalk and the awesome 80s music.
A little Borat looking.
Who's bad?
A little Borat.
I thought it was going to be what's his
Sacha Baron
nuts?
Cohen,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's not. And then you get Kristen Wiig coming back, and the Minions, of course. I'm sure there'll be one or two in those in there. But then here's the one that I know that the nerd at least is excited. I think the jock too. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yahoo!
With Marissa Tomei, Michael Keaton, Robert Downey Jr., and what do you say?
What a loser.
And Tom Holland, who is fresh off a very successful appearance on Lip Sync Battle.
Oh, that was great. Anthony, did you get a chance to watch the clip of Tom Holland on Lip Sync doing? Now, is that not? Was that exactly like the video? Like they nailed all the moves from the video?
As much as of a millennial as you think I am, and then I have all these millennial tendencies, I've stopped watching music videos at least 15 to 16 years ago. So I don't know. But I found that clip to be hilarious.
That's about
when he killed it. Like this kid's got moves and strength moves, and like he was all in grinding and gyrating. Holy crap!
It's only going to be a matter of time before they get him on Broadway for something, and he's going to be amazing if he does.
Well, he did. You said he played Billy Elliot.
He did. I think in the
off-Broadway?
in the West End. I think he was in London. He did that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So he did like this singing in the rain part to begin with, and that was charming.
Yeah, so the versatility of this kid to do like tap dancing and then all that, it was fantastic. I was surprised. It made me a little bit more excited for the movie, if that's even possible.
And then we got recently we got a new clip out from the movie that features him. And forgive me, but I don't know his friend's name in the movie yet.
Well, okay. See, this is a whole thing. You're opening a can of worms. The character's name is Ned Leeds, but they are squishing things together.
Okay.
Because so here's the thing, and Anthony is the millennial, so he will get. I feel like this is not my generation's Spider-Man. Basically, as an old man, this is what I'm saying. It's not the Spider-Man I grew up with. This is the ultimate version of Spider-Man that's always in high school, mashed up with Miles Morales, Spider-Man, who is a half-black Latino kid who becomes Spider-Man also. But they're combining these two alternate universes, and these universes were always meant to be like an alternate version of Spider-Man outside of the main canon, but now the kids will know just this. So I'm still adjusting to this version of Spider-Man. I've always loved the character ever since I was a little kid. But this clip, it made me endear to these characters a little bit more because I was just smiling. The chemistry between Tom Holland and Ned Leeds' character is so good, and it's so funny. And even the little Zendaya bit, I smiled at. So
I think, Patrick, were you surprised when you saw Michael Keaton was in this? Did you know?
No, I didn't know. I saw the trailer and I about fell out of my chair because
really?
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
It's crazy that you
him.
didn't like. I just assume that everyone knows that these characters are in there, and it blows my mind when I get out of my bubble and realize that people actually don't care about these things as much as I do.
Well, but I'm a huge fan. I love him. He was big in the movies when I was a kid, and my gosh, I can quote
it's
Mr. Mom.
It's Batman. It's Birdman.
Mr.
And
Mom.
now he's the Vulture. It's so awesome.
I can quote Mr. Mom all day long.
Guys, he's Jack
Mr.
Frost.
Mom is a great one. Yeah.
Let's not forget Jack Frost.
Yeah.
He's Jack Frost, yeah.
I was
Anthony,
very excited.
Did you see that clip? What'd you think? I was really curious because I haven't asked you what you thought of that clip from Homecoming.
I've seen the clip, and I enjoyed it. I'm not on the bandwagon where Imran's like, well, they're changing him so much from the time when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's a terrible
like,
Imran.
Who gives a shit? As long as he's still Peter Parker, and as long as the movie is good and there's a lot of heart, I'm all on board. That clip I liked it. I mean,
it made me smile. It got me. Yeah.
I'm glad that Imran's answering for me.
Jesus. Just like on my show, Jock and Nerd podcast. I feel it.
Mom and Dad are fighting.
But no, it was good. Everything about it. I think Tom Holland's going to be a very good Peter Parker as a teenager, and I'm interested. The thing about Marvel, really quick, is that we've had all these films, but they're all like 30 to 45-year-old dudes that are like acting out their man-child fantasies, and like the main actor has not been a fucking teenager, and now we're actually getting a teenager, and we're getting this small high school setting with the Homecoming title. So it's going to be a different movie, hopefully, than what we've seen so far out of Marvel.
And continuing our trend of movies that don't need to be made, we get War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh no!
Don't you?
I'm sorry.
No.
Anthony, all worked up now.
Okay. Well, I will let you, please convince me to go see these because I have not gotten into these movies. It just looks kind of okay. I'm sorry. I've ruined the show. I take
They're
it
so
back.
good, Anthony. Sell her. It's not hard.
There will
Have
be
you seen the
punches thrown.
first two?
I have not.
Oh,
You were allowed to punch
So,
me. It's fine.
I get the titles confused. I think the first one's Rise.
Yeah.
Was like of that summer, whenever it came out, was the surprise hit of the summer. And then if you watch Dawn is, for me, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Wow. Okay.
Dawn is basically a story about a guy, in this case an ape, caught between two worlds and fighting in the midst of trying to please two different factions of people.
Isn't that the movie that Phil Collins sang, "You'll be in my heart"? Isn't that Tarzan?
No, it's Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
I mean, and if you're not into the story at all or the ape, the motion capture is amazing.
Yeah.
Freaking Andy Serkis deserves
Oh, yeah.
something for what he's doing. He's playing an ape.
Yeah.
An ape. And it looks real, and he's acting like a freaking ape.
This thing about this franchise is it flew under the radar, but wow, this is an amazing franchise. Solid movies, like underrated. People that like you guys, you didn't feel like you needed to watch it. It's really good. It's really quality, well done films. I highly recommend.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will watch
ahead.
them. We will watch them, and we will report
We
back
promise to watch all of them and then do an entire podcast on them.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
I feel like I've caused such an affront to Anthony.
Wait a minute.
I've got to make up for it.
Well, let me distinguish the 60s, 70s films are good. They're very good, and they get like worse as it goes on.
Yeah.
But they're all like allegories for like racism and all that stuff.
Sure.
So they're good. They're really good films. The one with
the Tim Burton one is garbage.
Garbage. Don't watch that. The only thing that's good about it is the makeup. This last one, these last two though are really good, and you should start with these last two.
Okay. Looks like we have a topic for episode
Absolutely.
Oh, easy now.
Very good.
64. 12 episodes from now, we'll plan it.
Okay.
And then I saved this for last for you, Patrick, because I know you're excited.
I am.
We get, and this isn't even the end of the summer. This is just the end of when I got tired of typing. We get Dunkirk from director Christopher Nolan, and basically anybody who's anybody in this film.
Now, Dunkirk is a wonderful story. It's a terrible story, horrible story. But
It's a rollicking good time.
oh, you'll leave with a toe tapping.
It's a beach story.
It's a beach story.
It's a
Oh, it's a
musical.
beach movie, like
Yeah.
Rogue One. What? So this is what I was confused, Patrick. What is this Dunkirk about?
Well, in World War II, the Germans were attacking a very strong front, and they had trapped the majority of the British army at Dunkirk. And the German planes were bombing the boats. They could not get the British army back to England. They just were struggling. And Hitler knew that he had Germany. He could take Germany. Or I'm sorry, Hitler knew he could take England anytime he wanted.
I thought you said Hillary.
No.
She could take it anytime.
I'm with her.
She thought she could take it.
She thought she just didn't go to Wisconsin.
Or Pennsylvania, thank you.
Yeah.
But Hitler thought he could take. He thought that Britain would be a pushover. He could take it any time. So instead of pushing on and destroying the troops and destroying the entire British military, he pulled back and focused on the Eastern Front and allowed the troops to be rescued. And go back to England, and it was one of the biggest mistakes one of the biggest mistakes that Hitler made. But this is a story about the troops that were stranded in Dunkirk and were struggling to get back.
And apparently someone has misplaced a watch.
Okay.
Because in the trailer, there's just a ticking watch. The whole trailer.
Well, because it's the time is. I mean, they are up against the clock to get off of Dunkirk.
It made that trailer so suspenseful though, because it just kept increasing.
It's a horrible story, but it was. I mean, it was a big reason why Germany lost the war.
Is the story include like regular citizens rode in ships and got them? Because that's the vibe I got from
the civilians saved
Yeah.
them.
Yes, the civilian. Yeah, because the British military or Navy was pretty much destroyed. So they got boats and they sailed across and piled as many people in the boats as they could and pulled them out.
Here's your cast.
I read somewhere that like this is an important moment for British people. Like they all have like a Dunkirk experience. It's kind of like our Pearl Harbor here for them.
Oh yeah. No, that's the moment they all band together and they again, had that not happened, had Hitler pushed on, the Americans wouldn't have had a place to gather to attack. We would have lost our ability to get a foothold.
So are you a big Nolan guy?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I like his stuff. I'm okay with it, but
more of a history buff.
I'm a big history
yes,
guy. I'm
yeah.
a huge history guy.
So what are your thoughts on Nolan attacking this? I'll flip it around and ask you, one of the hosts.
I'm optimistic about it. I really am. It's a story that hasn't been told. I mean, I was in England and got to go to Dover, and they talk about it. They talk about Dunkirk, and I kind of was my first time there. I had never heard the story. And I was kind of surprised that was a huge moment in World War II, and I didn't know the story. So I'm optimistic about it. I mean, the material is there. It's there. It's already written. I mean, and so hopefully he does a good enough job with it.
And it's
when I initially saw the trailer, as someone that didn't know about Dunkirk, and I thought I knew a lot about World War II, I was like, is this another story about the invasion of Normandy? That's
right. Yeah.
Right. Yep. No, it's pre. It's pre.
well,
I love it. I mean, Nolan is an amazing writer director, and I love when a movie can, turn you on to a little piece of history that you should know about that you never did.
Yeah.
And here's who you've got in your cast. Are you ready for this? You've got Bane. You've got
nice.
You've got the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Oh God, he died years ago.
You've got the BFG.
Bulger died years ago.
You got the big fucking giant is in this one. You've got Gilderoy Lockhart. Mr. Kenneth Branagh himself.
Okay.
So I am, of course, talking about Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Kenneth Branagh, and Mark Rylance. And on top of that, you get Harry Styles.
You don't know you're beautiful. What's Harry
Direction.
Styles doing in this movie? What's going on here?
He's playing a character named Alex.
Yep.
That's all I know.
Yep. No, I'm very optimistic about this, and I'll be the first in line to see this one.
Yep.
How long is this movie going to be? Nolan likes to make this is going to be like a 4-hour movie.
Oh yeah. It'll be. My guess it'll be epic.
It'll be long, and it'll be like needlessly like things that don't need to be explained will be like so over explained.
Yep. And there'll be about 4 points in the movie where you'll go, oh, here's the ending. Nope, not the ending yet. No.
There'll be a twist. Is there a twist in Dunkirk? The Dunkirk story?
Yes, Batman moves to Europe. That's the thing. He's still alive.
Has Nolan figured out how to direct action yet?
Oh, that's a question.
I'm sorry. I'm bragging on Nolan, but he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. This has been, like I said, a long time in the making, and we couldn't think of better people to preview the summer movies with than the Jock and the Nerd.
Yeah. And
thanks for having us, and I hope we didn't. We went long, of course, because I'm a wordy idiot.
That's what she said.
Well, tell us all where we can find you guys.
Anthony, do some work for a change. Before we do that, I just want to say how refreshing it is to come on a show and like these show notes, this might as well have been an episode of our show, but I can come on, geek out, and then just turn it off and go home and not have to worry about editing or production. And I finally know what it feels like to be Anthony.
Wait, you're not going to edit this for us?
What? Was that part of I didn't read the fine print.
There's a fine print at the bottom, and you sign your firstborn child away. And any tickets you might get to episode 8.
And
so
Comic-Con.
Anthony, you have a pretty sweet gig on our show. Why don't you tell the listener about us then?
Well, you can find us on any sort of podcast listening app, whether it be... Is it now iTunes? I don't even know.
It's called Apple Podcasts.
There you go.
Branded.
Yeah, Stitcher, all those. But the easiest way to find us is jockandnerd.com. That's where you can find all of our podcasts, subscribe, tune in. And if you ever want to contact us, that's where you're going to go as well. We're on basically every form of social media except Instagram because Imran's face is not good.
Every week I'm like, I should start an Instagram.
Dude's got a face for podcasting, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think
nobody wants to see my trash panda ass. That's all I'm saying.
I tried to tag you guys and it was like, nope, couldn't find it. Tried 2 variations of the title
One
of
of
Jock
these
and Nerd.
days, but then it's just another thing I have to update because I do everything.
Basically.
But look, for the listener, if you enjoy comic book movies, you're watching, the TV shows, and you want to hear interesting, we've got some great interviews with creators. We've had TV producers, an Oscar winner, an Emmy winner, animator. Kate's been on episode. Episode 122 is the show with Kate. Definitely check that out.
And I'm trying to campaign to come back for Wonder Woman.
You're booked for the Wonder Woman review right now, official. That's yours.
I'll get my tickets now.
You need a woman on that show.
Yeah, the more you can come over, the better, because we're just a bunch of dudes just yelling.
And Patrick can come and make stuff up.
Yes. No, that's great. You guys should come on the Wonder Woman review. It's perfect.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
When it's June 2nd, we have to make sure we see it.
All right.
We'll go to the midnight. Well, no, it's not even a midnight show anymore.
Thursday at 7. You can
Thursday
watch
at
it
7.
Thursday night at 7. That's how these things come out now.
So anyway, thank you, listener, for tuning in. If you want to know more about us, go to seehere'sthething.com. We're also available on numerous social media outlets, primarily Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But if you want to send us a voicemail, check out our voicemail feature on our website. You can always email us, Kate or Patrick, at seehere'sthething.com. What else am I missing, Patrick?
I think that's about it.
That's about it. Smoke signals, carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Do we say a special thank you to our sponsors?
Special thanks go out to All in Act Theater and Megan Shearman, and possibly my mother if she figures out her phone anytime soon. And also Grisé Audiovisual. This has been another episode of See Here's the Thing. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.